Hey, Arkansas farmers, Arkansas, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You all voted to allow all of this to happen. You all raised against China. You all raised against the rest of the world. But you want China to buy your soybeans and your whatever the hell you produce. Yeah, the people that you despise, you want them to buy shit from you, right? That's not how the world works. And since you hate socialism, no money for you. Because socialism means taxpayers' money is shared. But you don't want that. So I suggest, Miss Arkansas farmer, that you pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That's what you wanted everybody else to do. And if you think the countries that you despise want to buy your produce and your hogs and your chicken and your soybeans, they're not buying American products because of your hate-filled MAGA agenda.
So for those of y'all who've been keeping up with recent events as it relates to the farmers, right? We talked about Nebraska, and then we talked about Iowa, and all of these farmers, are losing their minds because they're losing their farms, and, they're scared. Well, let me tell y'all what I heard today. So the lobbyist groups for the farmers are proposing another bailout of $16 billion. The last time Syphilitic Sid did this in his first administration, they received a whopping $24 billion in bailouts. Well, this time around, Syphilitic Sid said he doesn't know if he can do that. He's not sure that that's something that they can accommodate. Look, I love the farmers. The farmers are wonderful. They farm, right? They farm. But, we're trying to cut fraud and waste and a lot of unnecessary spending. So now these people and their lobbyists are trying to get bailouts. But what I want to understand is, what happened to you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps? What happened to we voted for him because he's a great businessman? What happened to we're going to put our trust in him because he's going to help us? Help y'all do what exactly? Lose your farms? Yes, that part. Because you know who invests in these companies that buy up bankrupted farms? Your vice president. So, to all you farmers that voted for this, thinking it was going to be like the last time and he was going to give y'all a bailout and y'all would get those subsidies to support yourselves and your farms and your families, it's not coming. Not this time around. It's not coming. You can just forget it. So, I wish you well. I hope it works out for you. Maybe, somebody can whisper in his ear and change his mind. You might want to reach out to Ivanka because she's his favorite and he listens to her, I guess. But they're not really speaking, ever since the insurrection. But I don't know. This is just word on the street. It's just gossip, but you didn't hear it from me. But, good luck.
Farmers are now begging. Farmers are begging for the current administration to make a trade deal with China for soybeans. Begging. There is no trade deal. It's the end of August for soybeans for farmers in the United States. Do you want to know what percentage that we sent to China? 60 to 70% of soybeans were sent to China. China has moved on. China has moved on to Brazil. China has made deals with everyone else. China has put this administration on ignore. But I don't want you to feel sorry for farmers. Do you know why? Because he did exactly this to farmers for soybeans, losing them about $10 billion in 2018. Please Google this. Please Google it. And they voted for him again. And a lot of them say they would vote for him again, even though bankruptcies are the highest they have been in years for farmers. There are no trade deals for soybean, nor will there be. China, checkmate. US, zero.
Alright folks, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for always come back to watch our video. I am a presenter Fikazo. Now, today we're talking about Arkansas farmers. Right now, what happened is Arkansas farmers, there are some reports that they have filed bankruptcy. After filing bankruptcy, now they are requesting for bailouts. Now, after voting against their own interest, after doing everything, after affecting many people, after deporting immigrants, right now the next step is requesting for bailout, like the way they used to do. Now, this is not a normal thing, because if you file bankruptcy, it means your business are no longer running. You don't have money to run the businesses. So that's why these farmers in Arkansas and even some other states are requesting for bailouts, because they don't have money to run their farm. They don't have money to run their businesses. So it means whatever they did, it is against their own interest. They voted against their own interest. And then another thing is they are requesting the government to deal with China again. Remember, they were celebrating that tariffs are going to punish China. So they are requesting the government to deal with China again so that China can buy their soybeans. So their soybeans is going to go bad. They don't have market for soybeans. Now, they celebrated punishing China, putting tariffs on China. Now, China have boycotted that market, American market of soybeans, and went to Brazil. China no longer interested in American soybeans. That's why they went to Brazil to grab their soybeans. Now, China markets all soybeans from Brazil are the one that is going to China, while American soybeans is going to rot in the storage. Man, you farmers, you're the one who brought all this. You voted for this. You wanted to punish China. And you said, oh, tariffs are not for us. Finally, you have found out that tariffs are being paid by the consumers. You farmers, whatever you're going to buy, whether it's from China, you're going to pay those tariffs. Because those countries are going to raise the prices. So tariffs are going to affect you, which is what's happening right now. And these farmers in Arkansas, they're requesting for bailouts. They're requesting the government to help them, to give them some money. They're requesting each and everyone, because they're going to go bankrupt, total bankrupts. They don't have money to run the farm. Man, that's what's happening in Arkansas. Not only Arkansas, even some other areas, they are facing these challenges. The challenge number one is that they don't have money to run the farm. Remember, the government used to support them, but for them, they didn't want that. That's why they voted, against their own interest. Right now, Arkansas farmers are asking for bailout so that they can keep growing their farms, and requesting the government to help them with China so that they can get back their market. Remember, China usually take between 60 and 70% of their products, of their harvest. Right now, they don't have the market. It's going to rot there. They are going to lose more.
So the people who say no handouts just lined up for a handout. Now tell me why farmers in Arkansas are standing outside with their hands out again, begging Uncle Sam for money. See, when it's regular people struggling, rent too high, groceries too ridiculous, can't afford health care, the answer is always from these people: stop complaining, stop asking for handouts, and pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Farmers in Arkansas are crying out to the feds for stimulus money like it's open mic night. And look, I get it, because times are hard everywhere. When you plant your crops, raise your cattle, take on the risks of farming, wasn't that a personal business decision? So why is it on me and you to make sure that that decision keeps paying out? Because see, when you and I make bad decisions, government doesn't cut us a check to make it right for us. Now, let's connect the dots here a little bit. These are the same people voting for the same politicians who say government is the problem. Yet as soon as the tractors stop running and their profits dry up, government magically turns into a solution for them. Ain't that funny and ironic? The question is, do we owe farmers any help? Or do they need to practice what they preach? Figure it out. Tighten that belt. Leave taxpayers out of it. Because last I checked, it's really not our problem to fix somebody else's gamble.
Dear God, if you've never listened before, Texas is reporting that numerous farms are shutting down. They have no workforce to bring in the harvest. So what does that mean? We're going to have less food available. What does less food mean? Higher prices for what is available. Even the cattle has been left unattended. Now they're gathering people up to make a workforce. Don't even doubt that for a second that that's what they're working on here. However, there's no people now. Now, as we come into fall and everything is ready to be picked and processed, we are in a massive FO moment for the nation. So if you have not stocked up on basic food items that will help you survive, God help you. Because you're going to need it. I don't know what more to say.
So with all this winning and FAFOing going on, apparently Iowa was feeling left out and felt the need to enter the fray and throw their hat in the ring. Iowa, the state of Iowa, is currently leading the nation in farm bankruptcies in 2025. Evidently, Iowa farmers did not learn their lesson from the first Trump administration and are getting another dose of reality. I guess once bit, twice shy, right? But, I mean, I'm not sure what can be said at this point. Like, you know, this constantly feeling the need to bend over and say, please, sir, I'd like some more. I mean, you guys are beyond help. And despite all this, and despite the fact that the state GDP has shrunk by 6%, Governor Kim Reynolds has come out and said, Iowa farmers stand by Donald Trump despite the tariffs. What else can you say? I mean, if you're going to go down with the ship, go down hard, right? But of course, you know that they're going to be asking for handouts and expecting subsidies, right? Socialist.
Farmers laying awake, crying at night because they're cash strapped. Look at this. Farmers and cattle ranchers are short 150,000 workers to pick crops. Fruit is rotting on the ground. No soybean deals with China, which is 60% of what they normally sell every year. Zero deals. Farm equipment. John Deere is losing millions of dollars due to tariffs. And farmers, if they have the money, are buying used equipment. Farmers who every single time vote for this administration, and every single time, this is an exact replica, but times 10 from his first term. Farmers crying at night, and many of them, I bet you, would say they'd vote for him again, getting exactly what you voted for. And guess what? Blackstone and JD Vance are ready to come in and swoop up your bankrupt farms. MAGA farmers, I have zero sympathy for you. Zero.
All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you so much for reaching at this point of the video. Now, farmers in Arkansas, as I told you, including many who have been supporters of DT, are facing a severe economic crisis that has led to a significant increase in bankruptcy and plea for federal assistance. The challenges they are experiencing are manifest, but a number of them can be linked to the policies of DT's administration. Means these people, whatever they did, wherever they voted, it means it has affected them. Now it is the time for them to find out. You F around, you finding out because you never cared. The guy told you everything. Until at this moment, you don't have people to work in those firms, man. That's so crazy. Very hard to understand. The imposition of tariffs and retaliatory trade wars, these are one of the things that made these farmers to go bankruptcy. And at the moment, they are requesting for bailouts because this administration's use tariffs, particularly on goods from China, triggered the retaliatory tariffs from other countries on American agricultural products. As a result, major markets for key Arkansas crops like soybeans and rice were disrupted, causing price to plummet and farmers lose significant income. Yeah, you celebrated tariffs. This is what I always say. Farmers celebrated tariffs. They were enjoying. We are punishing China. Hey, and right now, China is the one punishing you. You don't have where to sell your rice. You don't have where to sell your soybeans. You are stuck requesting for bailouts, requesting each and everyone to come and bail you out, like the way you used to do it. So the high production cost is also affecting them. Remember, if you're running a farm, no matter what, you need a production cost. There is something behind that's going on when you're running a farm. Workers, seeds, and many other things. So those are included in production cost to get that final product. Now, if the production cost increase, it means you are going to sell at a higher price because you're not going to sell at the same price you bought like your seeds. So that is also what's happening to Arkansas farmers, because right now the production cost has increased from losing the workers, from losing immigrants that were working those farms, to lose the market, which was a good market that takes between 60 and 7% of their soybeans. That is China. But for them, they wanted to punish that China so that they can feel good. I don't know why. There is no bad things, to punish a country. Like, we want your country to be like superpower. You want your country to be super. But remember, you've never just get the idea of the tariffs. If you get what tariffs means, you shouldn't have celebrated the tariffs as a punishment to China or as a punishment to Mexico and Canada. You shouldn't have celebrated that. You should have worried about that, because you know exactly those tariffs are being paid by the consumer. The last person who get that product is the one paying those tariffs. And then, if your production cost is going to go high, it remains right now, things you're getting from China, they have added that tariffs. So you forget that you get your raw materials from China. You forget that you get most of your products from China that you use. Now China have put tariffs back to those products, and you're the one buying them at a higher price. So if you're going to sell your soybeans, the China is also going to put the tariffs. They're going to buy it at a lower cost. So you're going to lose. Farmers, you've never thought about that, man. So right now, what we are seeing is the rise of farm bankruptcy, because the combination of low commodity price and higher input cost has pushed many farmers to the brink of financial collapse. Reports from the University of Arkansas show that the Chapter 12 farm bankruptcy filing have increased sharply, with some legal experts describing the rise as skyrocketing. Right now, your farm bankruptcy, it is skyrocketing. It is moving at a higher speed. Yes, that's a report from the University of Arkansas. It means you're filing your bankruptcy. You're no longer able to run the farm. You guys, you lost the government support. USAID was helping you, but you guys, man, you hate yourself to the extent you vote against your own interest. What were you expecting? It is a time of finding out. Yeah. So some people are enjoying your tears. You're crying. People are enjoying because you guys, you're the one who did it. People don't care about your cries anymore because you did it. So if you ever run, you find out no matter what. So there is a rise in bankruptcy, rise in farm bankruptcy, farm businesses, and they're going bankrupt. This is something you've never expected. Because I don't know if you were expecting to see such things in this year, 2025. Because you were expecting the improve of the economy. You were expecting many, many things. I get sad when I heard that you guys, you voted to deport immigrants. You voted to punish China using tariffs, which resurrected into trade wars between the countries. And right now, you're facing bankruptcy. You're no longer running your businesses. So who is in loss? And the people you trusted, they don't care about you. They're not seeing you. They don't even remember that you exist. They don't. They care about themselves. So you made some people, their life to be miserable, but you've never forgotten yours. And your life is also going to be miserable. Because that's what you wanted. So you destroyed the existing market. The trade policies not only created the new challenges, but also dismantled the established international trade relationship that has been built over decades. Rebuilding this market after they are lost can take years, even decades, leaving farmers in a long-term vulnerable position. Yeah. You killed the market you had. You know that China was the only market, but you want to kill it? Man, MAGA farmers? It's easy to understand this. It's not something that is hard to understand. Killing your own market? Killing your own market? You know, you send your soybeans to China and then you go back, you kill your market. So who is going to buy those soybeans? You have competitors. Other countries are rising up. You have Brazil. It has already taken the market. Hey, guys, the cuts to rural programs, the DT's administration proposed budget have included a significant cut to essential rural services and programs, including funding for rural businesses development, broadband access, and mental health services for farmers. These cuts have further weakened the safety net for struggling agricultural communities. Yeah, you again. The instability from immigration policies, the administration tough stance and enforcement on immigration have created a volatile labor pool for farmers. Many farmers rely on immigrant labor, and uncertainty and fear caused by immigration policies have made it difficult for farmers to secure workers they need, adding to their production woes. Yeah. You voted to deport them. Now they are no longer immigrants coming to work in the farm. They are no longer people to come and pick those crops. You know, you guys, you pay pennies. You don't pay good money. That's why you are not getting workers. That's why you're not getting workers. Right now, no workers showing up because of immigration, because of ICE. They don't want to be deported back to their countries. They come to the United States for a dream. They wanted to achieve many, many things. So you guys, you wanted to deport them. And right now you need them. Hey, this is karma. You want to deport them, and right now you need them. They are no longer available. You cannot get them. They are no longer interested. Remember, farm work is a seasonal. It's not a work of each and every day. You need them per season. You need them to harvest. You need them to work on the plants. But they are no longer here. So what are you going to do? You're going to file bankrupt. You're going to need bailouts. That's what's happening. It's not hidden or even a secret. It's no more a secret. Everyone can see it that you guys, you hate yourself. You guys, you've never even thought about it. And people have been telling you that you better be careful of what you're doing. You better be careful of these things you're doing because it's going to affect you. Not the first time, not the second time. It means it's always affecting you, which prove what the guy have said, that he likes uneducated. That's a proof that you guys, you've never cared. For you, I don't know what you wanted. I don't know your mission. I don't know your plans. Because we've never seen your plans in action. We've never seen your plans that there is a plan and there's also a backup one, which is going to back you up. No one. Still, you are repeating the same thing that happened 4 years ago. You are requesting for bailouts right now. It's going to be countrywide, not only Arkansas, but even countrywide. They are going to request for bailouts because they are not able to run the farm. They don't have the market. There is no money to run the farm. The government have cut the funds. So you're gonna ask for bailouts. That's what's going to happen. Dependence on federal aid. You know, farmers, you've been depending on federal aids. The ongoing crisis has forced farmers to rely on federal assistance to stay afloat. This has created a cycle of dependence, as a farmer who once prided themselves on their independence are now begging the government for bailouts to cover their losses and prevent their family farms being sold off. Remember, in those people you trusted, there are people who are ready to buy those farms. Yeah. Once you say that I'm putting my farm on the market, there are people who are ready to take over. And you guys, you have to go away. So imagine keeping your farm for almost like 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, 5, even 10. But right now, you don't have your farm. You're going to lose your farm. Do you think your ancestors are going to see you good? I don't know. Do you really believe that you're going to keep your farm? Because if you're no longer running your farm, how are you going to get the money? You will not always depend on the government assistance. As right now, you're requesting for bailouts. And the government, I don't know if it's ready to bail you out, or if some people are ready to buy your farm. Yep. Because, you know, if you're no longer able to run that farm, there are people who are ready to do it. Disconnect between rhetoric and reality. Despite Diddy's repeated promise to end the war on the American farmer, his policies have had the opposite effect for many. The disconnect between his profound rhetoric and the harsh financial reality on the ground has left many of his supporters in the agricultural community feeling betrayed and abandoned. So farmers right now are feeling like we are abandoned, have been betrayed by people we trusted. But what makes people happy is that they told you, they've been telling you what to expect, what's going to happen. You guys, you refuse to listen. You just close your eyes like this. You just close your eyes. You don't care about what's going on. You don't want to research. You don't want to know much information that can help you. So you ended up requesting for bailouts and losing your farm. All right, folks, as we come to the end of this video, tell me in the comment section, what do you think about these farmers? What do you think about what's happening to these farmers? Because, man, it is a sad story. Let's keep a conversation in the comments below. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next one.